I'd like to welcome you guys to another weekly installment of Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning I go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video, and one person's question will actually be on the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And if I did comment to you and I said, great question, I might use this, and I didn't, please drop the question again. And if it's super long, maybe shorten it. It might have been too big, so I couldn't screenshot it. And I'm not saying I know everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out. And I feel like a lot of these other people in the hobby kind of forget how overwhelming it is to come into Pokemon right away. Like, we got over 1,000 Pokemon, 9 generations, hundreds of sets, tons of reprints. It can definitely be overwhelming. And I also wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support. It's been absolutely crazy, especially these What If Wednesdays. They've been slowly growing. You know, we're getting close to the Market Mondays and Falling Fridays. So if you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please leave a like. It helps out so much. And just know if you do leave a comment, I comment back to every single person. Even if my views quadruple from here, I'm still going to do that. And you can also join my membership. It's only 99 cents a month. And then you can check out my Instagram that I just started, showing off my collection, and my eBay store. 100% positive feedback with over 20,000 cards sold. And if you want to see some of the footage from Card Party, you can check out my last 3 videos. I threw a little bit of footage in there at the end of each one of the videos. But all right, let's get to the first question. And this is the question that's on the thumbnail. It's from Konohemia. Great video as always. Really respect your perspective. It's a breath of fresh air to watch a like-minded channel focus on collecting first and investment as byproduct. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What's your favorite era gimmick, i.e. Gold Stars, Delta Species, Tag Teams, Alt-Arts, etc.? For me personally, it's the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era. I absolutely love the Legend cards. I'm a big fan of those also. I do collect them. They come together to form arguably the best artwork to come from Pokemon, like Renaissance painting quality. Also, for some reason, I like the Prime cards. They give a unique perspective, almost like the Pokemon went in for headshots. So, super good question. The first gimmick that I really fell in love with was the Shining cards from, the Neo sets. All first edition. My favorite arts from this set are Mewtwo, Kabutops, and Tyranitar. I love that they gave Kabutops and like Magikarp some love. The Gyarados is great, all that. But probably the gimmick that I spent the most time chasing is probably Crystal cards. I was just obsessed with like Skyridge and stuff too. So insane set, like no joke. The art is top tier. To me, this competes with alternate arts. Yes, alternate arts are absolutely crazy. And I love alternate arts. They pretty much did those perfectly in my opinion. But Skyridge, you can tell they really put some love, a lot of hand-drawn stuff. Like, the art is just crazy. You really can't compare it with any other set. And the thing about this set too is every single card is a banger. I'm talking commons, uncommons, everything. The art is just crazy. I mean, look at that Starmie. Just nuts. So yeah, that is probably my favorite, crystal cards with Skyridge and all that. That's probably what I obsessed over the most. Great question. Next is from SBKI3JW. I have a Rayquaza VMAX Alt Art that was graded a PSA 9. I am wondering if I could sell it more in the slab or if I cracked it first. In general, do you think modern cards hold more value in a slab or raw? Well, let's check that out here. These are the sold listings for a PSA 9 Rayquaza VMAX. So this is ended recently. So this is from Australia. But right here, we got 527 or best offer, free shipping. 385 here with 37 bids, $5 in shipping. Another one for $449, 450 your best offer. So now let's check the raw Rayquaza. All right, so here's the raw. We got a 464 from Canada, 495, 420 your best offer, 373, 420, 381, 450 your best offer, 455, 340, 420. So I don't know. When you go back and forth, it looks like you're getting a little bit more value from the PSA 9. So I'd probably start as a PSA 9 so you don't even have to worry about cracking it and possibly, damaging the card. But looks like a low here is 335 that I can see for a PSA 9 for recent sales. Yeah, definitely try to sell it graded first if you're going to sell it. It's just easier. But all right, next question is from @FloatMCD7702. Thanks for making these videos. 2-part question. What would you value a Black Label BGS Dendra 92 from Japanese Triple Beat? And 2, what is my best option to move a card like that? Well, let's check it out. I couldn't really find one, obviously, for sale. There's probably not very many at all. So you got it, just a regular Becca 10 there for $79.99. And then too, you know, Black Label, it's a completely different story. I know that. So you just kind of take a little peek at other cards. So like here's a Gyarados, you know, Black Label, Japanese, 225, Arcanine, 182. So, you know, it's a decent full art trainer. You can kind of price it at whatever you want, to be honest, if you can't really find recent sales and all that, and there's no other ones on the market. So you might as well just throw it up with whatever you want, honestly, and people will send you offers and you'll kind of get a feel for the market. But your best bet is probably eBay. I would assume that's where most people search for Black Labels. You know, cards that are a couple dollars are worth hundreds of dollars in a Black Label. So you always keep your eye out for mint cards. Next question is from Eric Del Sierra. What do you think about Japanese promo cards like Mario, Luigi, Pikachu promo, the Scream Munch promos? Even though they are high now, do you think long-term they are a good buy? Love the videos, big fan. Appreciate that. So I don't know like a ton about the Japanese market because I mostly do English, but these promos are absolutely crazy. And to be honest, I could see these being more expensive down the road. I don't know how much more and how long it's going to take, but these cards are crazy. I love them all. My wife really, really wants them, but they are spendy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so hard to say. And then like the Mario card is just wild, you know, thousands of dollars. I do like these cards, but I don't like when they do like exclusive promos that are like hard to get because it's like, it kind of takes the fun away. I like being able to pull the cards, but it makes the cards very exclusive. And, you know, I wonder how many of them there are of these cards because these prices are wild, thousands of dollars. But, you know, will this be a $20,000 card one day? I don't know. I could see it. It's definitely possible, especially if we get another boom, you know, like in the Japanese market. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this stuff at all, so it's hard for me to say. They are very, very cool cards and very unique. Next question is from Ashen Jamal. Thoughts on reverse holo Masterball Pikachu? Let's check that out. So we're getting a ton of reprints for 151 for Japan. So I do expect this card to come down a little bit more. I mean, it is cool. I like the, you know, the Masterball gimmick, but I do feel like these cards are pretty expensive. You know, I get they're rare, but I don't know if they should be worth that much more than the best cards in the set. But yeah, in my opinion, I feel like Master Ball should be like 100, maybe 150 max for the good ones. And, you know, gradually get cheaper and stuff. Cool cards though, but we got one 180, 180, 187. There's one right here for 150. So yeah, I can see the Pikachu getting down to $100, honestly. The more reprints we're getting, more waves we get. Because I think we're getting another one here soon. Another one 160 there. We got the 135. I clicked on that earlier when I set this up. It is Korean. I was like, oh wow, that is a low one. But yeah, I could see it getting down to $100. I hate to say it, but yeah, I think $100 is decent for this card. All right, next question. How do you store and organize your rock cards? I think I've answered this one time before, so I'll go through it quick. I use Dex Protect binders, and I try to get the ones with the zipper. My house flooded one time, and it was flooding from above. 2 binders, one was zipped, one wasn't. The one that wasn't zipped, a bunch of cards got ruined. The one that was zipped, all cards were perfect. And then I like to use Dragon Shield and then the clear ones. So these are really thick sleeves. Like you could actually use them to play the game. But I use them to put them in my binder. Every once in a while, you will get a box where the sleeves are really curved, which annoys me. But most of them, they're pretty dead straight. You can flatten them or just, you know, grab a new box. But I love these things. When you put them in there, it feels like you could throw the card and it'd be fine. So those are my favorite ones that I use. Next, Tra Rondo FB7SW. I'm more into the Japanese cards. What would be the best sealed products and cards to invest in your opinion? All right, so we'll check out some boxes here. So I think Lost Abyss just got announced it was going to get a reprint. So I expect the price of this box to get even cheaper. Super cool box. You know, stuff like V-Star Universe. Awesome box. This is their Crown Zenith box. And then obviously 151 Japanese. And we're expecting this to get even a little bit cheaper. I've been getting word that people can get it for like $55, $60. So yeah, and then cards, obviously, alternate arts are great. Especially some of them are coming down in price. So I would definitely keep an eye out for stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of good boxes right now for Japan, and the market, it's getting cheaper, so it's going to be a good time to start buying soon. Next question is from Cyrax Slayer 666. Thoughts on 151 new Japanese for just under 100 euros. Also, how do you see Gardevoir and Miriam doing in Scarlet and Violet base set? I've been told that the pull rates are easier in that set. Keep up the good content. Let's check that out. So obviously we just went through the 151 on the last question. Great time to buy it. I do expect it to get a little bit cheaper though. So the Gardevoir and Miriam, these are actually going up in price right now. These were just on last week's Market Monday, I want to say. But yeah, they're going up. Beautiful cards. These tell a story. It goes with the Curly and stuff, the pre-evolutions. And then the Miriam. People really, really love Miriam. She's also kind of going up. Was down 22 up to the mid 30s. Last sold 32, 34, 33. So very solid cards. Base set is really, really good. Scarlet and Violet base set is top tier. It's one of the best base sets we've ever gotten. Like, it can't even be argued. And I could see these cards getting even more expensive. I mean, Miraidon was like $100 on release. Gardevoir was like 70. So I could see all these cards going right back up to that price, like close. And I'm not talking just on release. They were that price for a while. So very solid cards. The Crydon's dirt cheap. The Drowsy is more expensive than the special illustration rares, the Slowpoke. People are starting to buy up these, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 illustration rares, which I'm going to do a ranking video this Sunday, actually, of all the illustration rares. We're going to try to find out which ones are a good price and all that. And then the Sunday after, we're going to do special illustration rares. So definitely check that out. But yeah, I think these cards do have room to grow, for sure. All right, next question is from Fern Z Jr. I've been buying slabs of the Charizard from Darkness Ablaze for cheap because nobody's talking about it. I think it's a beautiful card. Looks part of the Charizard UPC promo card. Thoughts? Great question. And yeah, nobody does talk about it. So let's take a little peek at the raw first. So there's 3 different versions. Well, 4 if you do the prize pack one. But there's 3 versions. So you would think, why would anybody buy the Darkness Ablaze one? There's 2 better versions. But in my opinion, as a collector, I would want all 3. I do think there's going to be a market for this Charizard card in the future. Don't know how much, but I mean, at $20, this card was, I think, $100 and then $75 and then $50 for the longest time. But yeah, it'd be sweet to have all 3. So let's check the PSA 10 prices. So these are last sold on eBay. Let's make sure it's all English. There we go. 62, 80 your best offer, 80 your best offer, 68, 72, 70, 63. So yeah, if you can get this card in a PSA 10 for, $50 to $60, I think that's a solid deal. I could see it going back up to a $100 card, maybe even $150 in a PSA 10 down the road, because it's going to be the cheapest option to get that VMAX card also. And the Darkness Ablaze Sword and Shield booster box is actually going up in price right now too. It's like $150. So yeah, I do feel like, at that price, that is not bad. Like, I would buy one of those at $50, $60 for sure. All right, next question is from Live Vision YT. I'm saving up all my money from working at my job this summer. I want to save a large portion, but I should still be able to spend around $4,000. I'm saying this to ask the community and anyone who sees this comment wearing Pokemon, should I invest all this singles, slabs, sealed, and if any of those, which ones and what cards in those categories specifically? Now, your safest bet is probably just booster boxes. I mean, that's going to be the easiest, especially if you don't know much about Pokemon. You can just buy the boxes when they're low. You got to be patient. But, you could do graded cards and stuff like that. But again, you're going to need to know a little bit more about Pokemon to start getting into that. So I would recommend, especially for anybody new, just to buy some booster boxes when they're low, like Scarlet and Violet. I mean, you can get Paradox Rift, Scarlet and Violet base set, all dirt cheap. And even Paldea Evolves like $120. That's still not bad. You gotta think MSRP on those boxes is $160. That's what it is on the Pokemon Center website. So yeah, I always just recommend start off easy, booster boxes. It's just the simplest thing. And $4,000, you can get a lot of booster boxes to where if these boxes do take off, you're making a good amount of money. So, but all right, next is from BD Games. Love the videos. Currently, I am collecting all of the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon Center ETBs when they first hit the website. I'm only missing Paldea Evolved and Twilight. Most of my budget goes toward purchasing singles for my collection, but I like the investment possibility when purchasing these ETBs with the exclusive promos. However, I currently have no sealed booster boxes in the collection. Should I continue with the ETBs or go for booster boxes? Thanks. Well, it sounds like you don't have, a ton of money to spend. So in my opinion, I'd probably finish your little collection you got. You said you're missing one or two. Finish that up. And then, yeah, I would definitely suggest getting a couple booster boxes here and there. I mean, you can go back and forth if you got the money to do that. When a set comes out, get that ETB and then wait a month or two, get the booster box, because you're going to want to wait for that booster box anyways for it to go down in price. So maybe go every other too if you really like the ETBs. I do think those ETBs are really going to shock people in the future. Having the two promos like that and one stamped. But all right, next question is from Sean Smith 2462. Pokebeard, I've accumulated a large amount of bulk that's just taking up space. What's the best way to break it down to sell it? Is there any common type cards I should be not including in bulk that I could sell individually to help improve my seller rating, such as supporter cards, reverse holos, etc.? What's a good baseline value for a card to be separated from bulk and sold from a different group of cards? Your content is top shelf. Thanks, brother. Thank you. So Danny Phantom is probably the best at that. I want to say he just posted maybe a short or something like that, going over some common and uncommon cards that are worth a lot more than people think. So definitely check his channel out because he's really, really into the TCG. But yeah, there are some grails. You can look it up. There's a bunch of videos on it and stuff too. And then too, I always sell my bulk on eBay. Like I'll do like 1,000 holos and reverse holos with like 1,000, non-holos and like 20 ultra rares for like $200 or something like that. And it just sells every time. I don't know why people are buying it, but they do. I just try to be the cheapest on eBay when I do that. But otherwise, there's places where you can send them in and they'll give you booster boxes and stuff too. So you got options, especially, people want those reverse holos and holos. So, definitely separate them, count those out because those are very, very important. Just 1,000 holos and reverse holos on eBay is like, 1,000 reverse holos and holos on eBay is pretty good money. It kind of ranges, changes all the time, but it's like literally like $60 to like $130 sometimes. Especially if you throw in some like 10 ultra rares, which are no joke, 50 cents a card. So you can make good little lots and make people want to buy it. All right, next question is from Malcolm Higgins. How do you find the best deals? You mentioned you need to complete your legendary collection. Do you scour garage sales, flea market, Facebook Marketplace? I'll never be able to afford a Latios and Latias tag team. I'm dreaming of the day I see someone selling a box of cards for $50 or something and seeing that card poking out of the stack in the picture. I feel like it's the only way to get some of these older cards going for a ton of money I can afford. So, yeah, I love eBay. It's probably what I use the most because, you can ask for so many pictures. I love how you can just communicate with everybody. Otherwise, I do card shows and stuff like that. When I see vintage, I'm always checking out condition. But a lot of those people get those cards graded. So in my opinion, I will buy a lot of PSA 6s, 7s, and 8s, 9s and stuff sometimes for my binder collection. I'm not super picky on that, especially when we're talking very expensive vintage cards. I love when I have vintage completed sets. That's why I like completing the vintage ones over these newer ones. The newer ones, you got full arts, trainers, rainbows, golds, alternate arts, trainer galleries, so it's kind of all over the place. But for these vintage sets, it's just non-holos, some reverse holos, and holos. So it's just nice and clean. And there's not as many cards usually too. And I do feel you on the Latias card. I also need it. I'm hoping it'll come down in price one day. One can only hope. But yeah, it's going to suck to have to buy that card. All right, next question is from Savvy25. Which era Pokemon do you believe has the best artwork? I'd probably say Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet is coming up quick, but they need to come out with some better special illustration rares that are really going to keep up with cards like Giratina, Umbreon. Because you got to think, Sword and Shield, they have trainer galleries, alternate arts, Crown Zenith. It's tough to compete. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet does have illustration rares in every set, which I absolutely love. And I think that definitely beats what Sword and Shield had. But the special illustration rares, I feel like just need to step up a little bit. I feel like we need to have a few crazy ones. What I feel like they're doing is they're wasting a lot of special illustration rares on illustration rares. I've been saying it constantly. Imagine that Groudon in a special illustration rare textured with the EX. I think that'd be the most expensive or one of the most expensive special illustration rares. So I think there's been so many amazing cards that could have been special illustration rares, but they chose to do illustration rares. So art-wise though, Scarlet and Violet definitely has a chance to take over Sword and Shield. It's just not quite there yet. Next question is from Sir Physicus. Hey PB, my partner and I want to open some vintage packs for Xmas. What are some tips for buying vintage? So if you're trying to open some packs, I always recommend doing heavy packs. Yes, you can get packs that are unweighed for a better deal, but it's just so disappointing spending all that money on a pack when you know there's no hollow in there. So I suggest heavy packs. You can get them at card shows too. A lot of people sell vintage packs and stuff there, and they'll weigh them and they'll be heavy. And then too, if you're trying to save some money, you can always do like unlimiteds instead of first editions. And then too, I recommend getting all the cards graded if they are mint. A lot of packs, they might not be mint. If the cards are mint, you can make some good money back if you get all the cards graded and they come out in a PSA 10 or whatever company you choose. So yeah, it's super fun, but I definitely recommend heavy packs. And doing it in person is nice too. A lot of those people that sell heavy packs, they will bring a scale, so you can, check the weight right there. But otherwise, if you're going to do it online, just check the seller rating on eBay. Especially buying vintage heavy packs, definitely shoot for 100% positive feedback. But all right, next question is from True Classic Movies, a member. I really, really appreciate that. I understand the value of the penny sleeves on the cards. What type of card, i.e. ultra rares, reverse hollows, secret rares, etc., is worth using top loaders also? Regardless if you just collect them or if you collect them as an investment, thank you. So I'm guessing you're not using binders. Binders is probably just the cheapest because you can fit so many cards in there. Definitely sleeve them. But yeah, I basically sleeve all ultra rares and more because it's just, penny sleeves are so cheap. You might as well. And then two, top loaders, I probably wouldn't put a top loader on every single just basic ultra rare. Anything above that though is top loader worthy. But I mean, I have a ETB box that is packed full of just basic ultra rare Vs and EXs and stuff. And they're all just penny sleeved. All right, next question is from Matthew Up 3348. What if I have a bunch of junk collection boxes, Infernape EX, Annihilate EX, Dialga, and Palkia VMAX boxes, 30 plus junk boxes? Should I open and sell the packs? Try to sell whole, even though shipping will kill me? So you could honestly try to sell it locally and just try to sell it in one big lot. That's going to be your easiest bet. People are definitely going to try to lowball you, but you might be able to find a good deal to where it's worth it. Otherwise, yeah, it is very, very annoying. That's why a lot of people don't think about reselling when they're buying all these boxes. It's a hassle, especially trying to find a box to put the box in that's, perfect, where you're not overpaying for shipping. It's definitely nuts. So if there's some good packs in there, we're talking Evolving Skies, it might be a little easier to take them out. But again, not everybody likes to buy loose packs online. So I definitely recommend trying to sell it locally too. And a lot of at card shows, they'll buy all your stuff at 80, 85% sometimes. But yeah, I feel it's definitely tough to move those boxes. Next is from ECX Passion. When do you like to sell? I have black and white, XY, and Sun and Moon Steel tins, collection boxes, etc., but don't know when to sell. I would like to fund some of the newer Scarlet and Violet stuff, but I'm running out of space. So what I like to do is I really like to look at my collection. So I pick out my favorite things, and those are the ones that I'm probably not touching at all. And then I do the ones that have the most of. So the things that I have 3, 4, 5 of, those are the ones that I'm going to start selling first. Maybe sell, if you got 5 of them, sell 3 of them, keep 2 or whatever it is. So I always start with that. And then that's going to be a decent amount of money to where you can start investing into some Scarlet and Violet products. But yeah, just thin your collection down without just, selling it all or getting rid of half of it or whatever it is. And then profit wise, I like to at least profit minimum $100 on something if I'm selling it. Otherwise, I'll just wait way longer. I'm talking 100 after shipping, what you paid for it and everything. That's what I like to wait at least on. So that way, that's a decent little chunk of money that you just earned for just buying a product and sitting on it. If it's something I don't have a lot of, then I like to get a little more, obviously. But, if I have a lot of tins, older tins, and I've gained over $100 profit, I'd be okay with selling some off, investing it into something else. And then you got to remember too, a Scarlet and Violet booster box is only $100, so not bad. Next question is from Mikey P16. Question, what are the best avenues to sell outside of eBay to avoid the high fees? I attempt to do deals through Instagram, but find it difficult to point people they're given eBay's policies. I feel like I find great deals on cards outside of eBay, but then when I want to sell them on eBay, I can pretty much only break even or wait a long time to sell at a profit. Thanks so much, Little Mike. Yeah, it's tough. So yeah, Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, the local ones like that, you got to at least try it. But a lot of people are just going to lowball you. It's really, really tough. You could try TCG Player, but I do eBay, I mean, I've been selling a long time on eBay, so it's a little easier for like me to get sales. I have a lot more people following my store and stuff. So I can kind of post something for buy it now for a pretty solid price. There could be a couple cheaper ones on eBay, but I can usually sell it pretty quick. That's why I always recommend to start selling. You got to build up that seller rating. It really, really helps get your name out there as a seller. So yeah, just keep grinding. It's tough, but you could definitely try Facebook Marketplace. I've bought a ton of cards on Facebook. So, all right, next question is from Big Body Benz. What's your opinion on investing in Korean or Chinese? It's crazy seeing some English cards going for a quarter of the price in these languages. Kind of want to grab some because the English prices for some of the cards are just out of my budget now. So I don't mind them. I prefer Japanese over those two. I think these two are like some of the most heavily fake cards, so you got to be careful. But if you know they're legit, I think it's totally fine. Just collect the art that you like. And then two, we don't know how good it's going to do down the road, like investment wise. Like China's popping out for Pokemon right now, so you know that might work down the road. But yeah, it's tough. Just got to be careful of fakes for sure. All right, next question is from Andrew Dixon 1702. What's the best way to get started with grading cards? Do it yourself or see if an LCG does it? Well, you could see if your LCG does it. If you think about it, it supports them. It's super easy for you to just drop the cards off and do it. But you should honestly try to do it yourself. It's not that hard. There's a ton of videos on how to do it. But if you're super paranoid and you got some high value cards, you might want to do it yourself. I have heard a few stories of some LGSs possibly swapping cards, you know, people dropping off mint cards, but they'll get a card with like a ding or something in it and they'll be like, oh, PSA must have did that. But people think, you know, maybe they swapped it for a card they already had. So you never know. All right, last question is from @BradleyHallaby3992. My question is for the man himself. Pokebeard, if you could have any graded card for free, the only catch is you have to shave the beard, what would it be? Wow, super tough question. I don't think I would do it for very many cards, honestly. The card that I really, really want that I would probably for sure shave the beard for is a first edition Shadowless Charizard and a PSA 10. I would absolutely love that card. That's my dream card. But otherwise, anything else, I mean, you give me a Crystal PSA 10, I was like, I don't think that's worth it. First edition shiny, I don't know. Because, you know, I have a lot of these cards, not in a PSA 10, but very mint in binders. So, yeah, it's going to take a good card. So, yeah, I'm going to have to say first edition Shadowless Charizard and a PSA 10. This beard has taken me years to grow. It actually used to be a lot longer. I don't think it looks good when it's just super long and straight. You know, I like it to be a little more... almost like a lion's mane is kind of my goal when trying to grow the beard. But yeah, no, I love this beard. I worked very hard on it. But I would shave it for a first edition Shadowless Charizard. So if anybody has one and wants to see me shave my beard, I will take you up on that. But that was a super fun question. I really appreciate you asking that. So like I said before, drop your questions down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And I'm going to be a little behind because I was at Card Party, but I promise I'll get caught up. Once I get settled here, I'll do like an hour-long What If Wednesday and just knock out a ton of questions. And then too, like I said before, you know, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like, and if you comment, I comment back. You can join my membership, Instagram, eBay, all that. I appreciate you guys so much, and if you want to watch my last Market Monday, which I will show a little bit of footage from Card Party at the end, watch this video right here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.